Hello, Baker University. My name is Jose Emilio Gonzalez Brito. First of all, I want to express that I'm beyond excited to be able to participate in the Academic Scholarship Competition Day. The prompt I chose for this competition is Learning to Lead, Leading to Serve. I lived in Mexico for over 17 years, and unfortunately, it was very clear for me how the country was getting worse and worse and worse without anyone really doing anything about it. When I was younger, me and my family used to love going out, just getting to know our country, our food, our people better. However, as I grew older, my family didn't like going out that much, and they would tell me to be very careful every time I had to go out. Why is this happening? Because insecurity is a huge problem in Mexico. You can also call it the cartels. I can tell you a bunch of stories of how Mexican people have been affected by the cartels. Personally, when I was 12 years old, my grandfather was kidnapped just because he decided to go and work that morning. However, Mexico doesn't need people complaining and telling their sad stories, which keep happening day after day. But why do they keep happening? Because no one wants to do something about it. The issue with the cartel is not the only, perhaps not the biggest problem Mexico is going through right now. A study made last year revealed that over 57% of Mexican communities think that corruption is just as big as a problem as the cartels are. From my perspective, for these two problems to be solved, Mexico needs brave people who are willing to make a change and prepared people who know how to make this change happen. In Mexico, only 1 out of 5 people go to college. This number may not say a lot, but when it is compared, for example, with the United States, where 1 out of 2 people, in other words, the 50% of the people go to college. That tells you a lot about the few opportunities Mexico has and how unprepared people can be. A study released in 2019 showed that Mexico is the #1 country in the whole world with the most natural resources. However, it is the 4th country in Latin America with the highest percentage of poor people. How is that possible? What are we doing with our natural resources? Being the #1 nation in the whole world with the most natural resources, Mexico has the potential to be way better than it is right now. Here is where Baker University comes into the equation. I want to share my culture. I want to be a leader at Baker, but also I want to learn to be a leader so that I can go back to my country and make it a better place. I want Mexico to be the beautiful place it used to be. Why? Because I love Mexico. Mexico is my country. Mexico is my home. I love Mexican people. I adore Mexican food. And on a far future, when I have a family, if my family is not living in Mexico, I want them to get to know Mexico, but not this Mexico. I want them to know the beautiful Mexico. I want them to meet nice people. I want them to try delicious Mexican food. And I want them to be safe when they're in the beautiful country. But I know Mexico will not be what it should be without leaders. That is why I want to go to Baker University, so that I can learn to be the best leader I can, and when I'm a leader, lead to serve my country. Thanks for your time.